if I'm not mistaken, the other one that I brought in,
The third chart deal with the
that
cost
was,
of living.
yeah, that was what it cost right now. This comes from the UNC Chapel Hill.
Correct.
What it
But we,
costs right now to go to school in Chapel Hill. This is not, it's amazing because it says that it is the 2011-2012 general cost for graduate professional at Chapel Hill, and it breaks down how much money it is. So if you look at all this, where we are at, if you look where we are heading, we have to change the way we do things. Now, we can change the way we do things in politics. We can change the way we do things economically. But education is the basic of all of them. And that's the reason why I kind of speak to my son so much about these kind of issues. Like, for example, I want my son to go to West Point. And I took him to West Point
okay.
2 years ago. I showed him, I said, look, I want you to go to school there. And there's a reason for that. It's a great school, excellent school. It's not just, it's a military school, but it's the Harvard, it's the MIT, it's the Stanford, it's the Cambridge of the world. That's what West Point is. And you know something? If you can't get in, it's free. Think about that one. So we have to teach our kid, look, son, I know you want to go to Notre Dame. I know you want to go to Chapel Hill. But there's another avenue this way, which is called Deep Spring College in California, that you can apply. That is called West Point. That is called the Navy. That is called Air Force.
Okay.
So there's so many areas that we can look into it. We cannot teach our kid go to school because the basketball team or because the football team. And the current account balance, the $47 trillion in the negative, is a reflection of that education. And that's something that we have to look into. That's something that we have to study, something that we need to address. And we know when address that by the time he or she is applying to go to college. We have to address that when he's 10, when he's 7, when he's 5. Because by that time, the 16, 17 years old, it will be too late.
Okay, I got a question to ask you as far as it seems like what I'm seeing is a lot of these schools may be focusing more on the athletic department than on the education because take for instance the issue that we have at Penn State. It seemed like they were more in focus on saving the reputation of their athletic department than on the situation that was at hand. Or let's talk about the athletic and the sports. You don't hear too much about Duke and they're good at the medical, outstanding
You're right.
but you hear more about the basketball program.
And that is one of the problems. Do you
Correct.
know that the coaches at the college level make more money than the coaches at the National Football League? A coach from I don't know which one, I don't know. There are several of them that makes
Correct.
more money than the professional league. But there's a reason for that. Joe Paterno from Penn State, there's a reason why he was there for so long. There's a reason why they have a close to 100,000 people stadium. Now, yes, they try to protect their image. But think about it. You have 100,000 people going to a place. And those 100,000 people, it will ask for a loan to go to school there in years to come, and it will end up between $80,000 and $120,000. That's a stream of revenue. Now, what the university have to do, if we were going to stop this bleeding, because that's basically what it is, it's a bleeding. If we were going to stop this bleeding, we have to address that. Come to school because we want you to study chemistry. We are the best education in school in chemistry. Duke has a great program in medicine.
Correct.
Come to school because we specialize in horse surgery or in eye surgery. So the, the kid who's watching that sport say, look, I would like to study medicine. I think that is great. I want to go to Duke. They have a great medical school. But no, that's not what we do. And all those universities, all of them, they have great academic programs.
Correct.
All of them.
Mm-hmm.
Without a doubt, all of them have a great academic program. What they do not know, or the student or the prospect student do not know, is that how much money it's going to cost or the consequences of going to school there. Like, for example, if you are 22, 23, you graduate from Chapel Hill, and based on these numbers,
Correct.
based on these numbers, which are the numbers from the universities, you end up with about $150,000, just right here. Now, what would you do if you are 24 years old with $150,000 in debt? But let's say you did great. Let's say you had a scholarship from left, from right, from the top to the bottom. But let's say rather than 150, you got money from everywhere, and then you end up with $50,000. $50,000 at 24 years old with 25% unemployment. That's a lot of money. And we have to address that. And I said the common problem or denominator for all of us is education. It's not Obama or Mitt Romney or Bush. No, it's education. And that's something that we have to stop. That's something that we have to work on. Because this is a great country.
Correct.
And it was built on strength, was built in hard work, it was built in toughness. That's what this country was built. But we lost that. We have to go back to our root. We have to go back to that moment where we worked for the things we wanted, for the things we needed. So it's two different things. Between I want something and I need something. Now, do I really need to go to Chapel Hill to study accounting? Do I really need to go to Duke to study sociology? I may need to go to Chapel Hill or to Duke to study medicine. So, we have to teach our kids exactly what would you like to do. And that's something that in my case, I work through that. And there's a reason for that. There's a reason why I work that way, because I'm the son of a mother and a father who can barely read or write. And I don't want to pass that to my son.
Correct.
And that's a goal that I have. I don't want to pass that to my son. And since I'm here, I just wanted to say to him, Emilio, yo lo quiero mucho, te es el heredero. Which means that I love him and I hope he inherits my good thought.
That's awesome.
That's what I told him. But it's one of those things that we have to teach them. They are the future, yes. But based on this 47 trillion negative, how does the future look? Based on this chart with the deficit, how does it look? And that's something that we have to address. I wrote an article. I don't know if you know anything about the Asian Herald.
No.
Asian Herald is a newspaper. It's right here out of Charlotte.
Okay.
It's owned by Dr. Chun.
Mm-hmm.
Dr. Chun is well involved in the community. And I talk about so many things. But one thing I know is education is the basics of everything we do in this country. And we need to change that. Because otherwise, money will not do it for us. Obama or Mitt Romney will not do it for us. Education will do it for us. And we have to drive to teach our kids to end up with an education without being the less possible in debt.
And that's having them start not at such a older age, but at a younger age. As far as that education, start right now until when you get to high school, graduate, so that you can be better educated.
You have to nurture that since they are
Correct,
7, 8 years
correct.
old. Have to nurture that. Say, look, you're gonna go to school. That's great, but you have to end up going to college without being in debt. That's something that we have to do.
Mr. Manjarres, we're running short on time. I'd really like you to come back on the show because you're giving us a lot of knowledge. How someone contact you?
Well, one way how they can get in touch with me is jmhy21k@yahoo.com, and that's my email. And if they shoot me an email and they say, Mr. Manjarres, I saw you on the Paul Brown Show, and I'll be able to get in touch with them.
Thank you, Mr. Manjarres.
Thank you, Paul.
Hey.
Appreciate it.
Audience, thank you for watching the show. It's individuals like Mr. Manjarres that comes on that wants to educate you and inform you on there's a lot of issues that we have in our community. And I like to bring on these individuals because I want to make sure that you get the most information that we have. I'm just excited to be here this year, and you be encouraged. Thank you.